I think we're going to have a lot of support. I think we're going to have support from Democrats. Frankly, I think if it's the right person, I'm going to pick the right person. I'm going to pick somebody that's outstanding. And everybody on that list is outstanding, but I'm going to pick somebody who's outstanding.
As President Trump, of course, in an exclusive sit-down interview with Maria Bartiromo for Sunday Morning Futures, talking about his pick, potential one, to replace retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy. The president saying he will probably not ask his nominee to detail a position on the lightning rod issue of Roe versus Wade. The announcement of who he will nominate comes July 9th. That is 1 week from today. And for the man who knows all the answers, Fox News senior judicial analyst Andrew Napolitano.
I wish I knew all the answers, Eric.
I'm not going to ask you who's he going to pick. But what's fascinating about this is the question of, I'm not going to ask these questions. Can you please explain why the president would not ask specific questions
Emphasis.
on rulings?
I'm not going to ask these questions, but someone has asked these questions around the periphery of Roe versus Wade. Every single one of the 25 people on that list, 24 sitting judges or justices, one sitting U.S. Senator Mike Lee. By the way, Senator Lee's brother is also on the list. The brother is a justice of the Utah Supreme Court. Every single one of them is pro-life. How do they know they're pro-life? Well, the president sort of outsourced the construction of this list to very conservative academic legal groups in the United States.
Like the Federalist Society, Heritage Foundation?
Precisely. And they combed through the writings and the speeches and the op-eds and the outtakes that they could find from all these people, and they are satisfied that they basically share the president's philosophy. Now, did someone say to any of them, will you vote to overturn Roe versus Wade? Nobody would answer that yes or no, because you don't know the context in which it's going to come to you. Yeah. But they might say, was it properly decided? Is it really a federal issue? Might it be better if it were closer to the people and left up to the states? So in New York, the state legislature would vote to permit abortion. In Pennsylvania, I'm just giving you an example from history, the state legislature might vote to restrict it. So those are the type of questions that people will ask in the president's behalf.
Do they ask if it's settled law and it's already a precedent, for example?
It is settled law and it is a precedent, whether you like it or not. Now, I don't think it's going to be overturned.
You don't?
No matter who the president appoints.
You don't?
Correct.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because the Chief Justice, though a practicing Catholic and pro-life himself, does not believe that fundamental changes should come about in the court's decisions because of an election.
But, you know, the Democrats and critics and others are saying it's the #1 major issue in terms of this.
The Democrats will make it the #1 issue, because 2/3 of the American public wants some form of abortion. And if the president nominates someone who puts a line in the sand, not in his or her hearings, but at some point in the past, that's going to give the Democrats some ammunition to go against.
And there's a lot more than this one issue, of course. Kellyanne Conway was on Fox and Friends this morning. Here's what she said.
He's not asking people specific questions on cases. This president wants somebody who has great experience, deep intellect, wonderful judicial credentials. But I am just amazed how, yet again, the left boils every single thing, including a Supreme Court justice, down to one issue, abortion.
So what do you think it'll decide?
Well, I think that Kellyanne Conway is 100% correct. In both counts, there are far more issues than abortion, but the Democrats want to make it this issue because they think it's a winner for them, because they know everybody on that list is pro-life.
Maybe perhaps not a name, but who do you think will be announced next Monday, or what should we look at?
Well, I think he's looking at someone who probably is under the age of 55, and if he can, under the age of 50, as Justice Gorsuch was when he was nominated. Someone who has traditional values. The president once asked me what I thought he should look for. And I said, you should look for something called judicial humility. That's not personal humility. That's a recognition that the framers made the courts third for a reason. The Congress sets public policy. The president enforces public policy, and the courts interpret it, and they ought to defer to the other two branches to the extent that they can, and only interfere with the other two branches when it is clearly unconstitutional. Wow. That's the mentality that he's looking for. I don't think he's going to ask about specific issues.
All right, Judge. So when the president said, who should I look for, why didn't you say me?
Well, if you know this president, that might not go over with him.
Judge, great to see you as always.
Okay.
Thank you.